The Senate may play at intrigue, but Lord Vane is not one to be brought down easily. The entire military waits upon his orders, from the War Council down to the rank and file. What better blade than he to strike down the enemies of the Empire?
Your Honor reminds me of Zect 2 years since. He, too, put his trust in Lord Vane's strength, and what became of him? Gone without a trace since Nabudis.
I will not hear you malign Judge Zect. He was a noble warrior. Or do you think his trust in Lord Vane ill-placed?
Vane took 2 of his own brothers' lives. He is ruthless beyond contempt.
Ruthless, you say? Would he were more so. He gives traitors no quarter, be they of his own blood. How fitting for one who would bear the burden of empire.
But could we bear him? Zagabath, what of you? Surely you do not believe his brothers were traitors?
So found His Excellency Lord Gramis, you would do well to mind your tongue, Drace. That matter is long past.
Your Honors, a summons. Lord Vane has arrived at the palace.
We come at once.
Lord Larsa has left for Baromises. He hopes to enlist the aid of the Grand Kiltius in stopping the insurgents. I doubt this will be enough to deter Ondor, but even a slight hindrance to his operations would be welcome. This will delay the Rosarian invasion, and we will have bought much-needed time to shore up our defenses.
Just as His Excellency had hoped.
No matter the result, I'm pleased with the young lord's progress. I can already see the stunned faces of those mud-witted senators. The fools think a child emperor's strings easy to pull from the shadows. But they will find that Lord Larsa is no puppet.
Yes, the senators would be most pleased with a puppet for an emperor. Recall, Drace, how the Senate fears and despises Lord Vane's ability. When they realize the truth, that Lord Larsa is no docile lamb to be shepherded, they will bare their teeth and devour him.
You're right. I shall speak on this matter with His Excellency at once. Gabranth, it falls to us to protect Lord Larsa. Are we agreed?
Aye.
Okay, so it does appear that the Empire is aware of Larsa's intentions here, and it seems that he's doing this at some level of an official capacity. Yeah, you can't get through. So he's not running out and doing this as part of some sort of rogue element of his own. Now, there is some worry over in the Empire, in the Archadian Empire, about the line of succession leading from the current emperor into the next one. And there is some strife between the emperor and the senators. And it's sort of like I guess it's sort of reminding me of the old Roman Empire and how there was a lot of strife between the emperor and the senators, each power base trying to gain its own strength, its own power, and its own influence over the government and the people. In this case, once the emperor dies, there would have to be somebody else chosen to be emperor. And, well, immediately the line of succession seems to fall to Vane, even though he's insisted that he's an elected official, and even though he's a son of the emperor, he's no prince. That doesn't really seem to be the case, because he'd be the next one in line to be the emperor. But the Senate may prevent that, may stop that from happening, and instead choose Larsa, believing him to be an easier person for them to control. Whether that's actually the case or not is difficult thing to consider. Because, well, as they were saying, the judges were saying, Larsa is not someone who is so easily controlled. Now, it may not be the wish of somebody like Vayne for Larsa to go and sort of work with these, work with our group of heroes here, but it's just something that he obviously feels quite strongly about. In fact, part of Larsa's argument to Ash a couple episodes ago was that Vayne was a horrible person that would in fact use the Nethicite regardless of consequence on Dalmasca if that would win Arcadia the war. And I mean that shows that, I mean, he may be a more reasonable and level-headed person as opposed to someone like Vayne, who you could come across as being a real monster if he has to be. But the way that the judges are sort of portraying Larsa is as not a person who can easily be labeled as, say, like, oh, this guy's a pushover, or this guy's a whatever. And, I mean, just because he's young doesn't mean that he is as, well, easy to handle as the senators think. Whether that means that he is capable of doing some really horrible things in the same way that Vayne is or not, that's something we can't really answer, but Larsa is definitely more than he seems to be. Now, the perspective that our characters have gotten of him is that even though he is definitely a person of the Empire, and he's quite clearly and blatantly has the Empire's interest in mind whenever he does anything, the only reason why he's here is not to save Dalmasca, not to save Ravenester or Nalbanar or any of those places, but in fact, he's trying to go and do what's best for the Empire. Now, just because he's doing what's best for the Empire doesn't mean he's a particularly a bad person or anything like that. And doesn't mean that he's going to go and do some horrible stuff like you'd expect Vayne to do. But it's something just to keep in mind. Ah, jeez. Characters are all asleep. Swapping them out. We have Larsa in the group again, and he's quite a... I mean, he's leveled up since the last time we've seen him, but since we have our higher level characters right now, a little higher than you'd expect to at this point in the game. And we also have some better weapons than you probably expect to have at this point in the game. He's not as incredible of an asset to the team as he would have been before. Definitely, though, a help, having an extra hand to swing a sword at enemies. Also, I think we got a new weapon here. Here we go. I'm not going to pronounce that, but it's a two-handed katana weapon. Now, the idea of the katana swords are that it deals a reasonably good amount of damage, not as much as the Demon's Bane, only because that's a more advanced weapon for this point in the game. But the real advantage comes with it is the fact that you're much more likely to get combo hits out of a sword like that than you would out of like a one-handed sword that we're using right now. On the other hand, it is a two-handed weapon, so you can't handle a shield, which keeps your blocking down a bit. Yeah, okay, I'll go this way. Should we kill this thing? I know it's not really necessary. Yeah, let's do it. It may be not tougher than I'm thinking. Oh, it's strong. It's really strong. Ah, shit. Oh, it's got Protect on and everything. Damn it, Finello, you're not going to be doing any damage like that. Just throw fucking fire at it. Oh, it's got shell on now, so you're not going to do as much damage. Ah, you're pathetic, Pinello. Killing an innocent creature that wasn't going to try and attack me or anything kind of makes me a bad person, doesn't it? Was it worth it? Was it really worth it? No, not really. Here's the barrier that Hunter was talking about.
What is it?
The jungle denies us our passage.
What have we done?
We? No. I.
What's that mean? How are we supposed to get through that?
Making an appearance?
Come on, I'm talking over here.
I thought you'd left for good.
Hey!
Our choices are few.
Friend? Balthier!
This is as much for you as it is me.
Oh?
You are ill at ease. The Netherite troubles you. You've let your eyes betray your heart.
Right.
What are you doing?
Soon you will learn.
Whoa.
We go to seek aid of the Viera who dwell ahead.
I bet they'll be glad to see you after so long.
I am unwelcome, an unsought guest in their wood.
Okay, we're gonna go off into the home of the Viera.